Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. I want to make a video, something similar to what I have done for many, many years. We are about to enter 48 hours that are really, really special, extraordinary, gut-wrenching, joyful, painful, traumatic, festive. Well, it's hard to put into words. If you see behind me, I have a white and blue light chain. That's festive. That's for Israel's Independence Day. But before we can celebrate the Jewish nation, God's nation, the nation He put His name down on, His faithfulness to that, before we can celebrate that, we need to mourn the sacrifices that has been made in order to celebrate. This is going to be a little bit different because I have been living in Israel for many years and I have made these videos many, many times. When I came, I was younger, I was energetic, I was passionate. I wanted the world to see what was really going on in Israel. I wanted to speak the truth, but I had no clue. I didn't know what was waiting me, and I certainly didn't know what it was going to be like to live in Israel. If you are the biggest Israel supporter, whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, Israeli or not Israeli, but you don't live here in Israel, you have no idea. If you are a Jewish influencer, Israel advocate, if you're a Christian influencer, an Israel advocate, but you don't live here, maybe you come here many times during the year, maybe you have been here 100 times, maybe you're flying in, speaking to conferences, but then you leave, then you have no idea. You have no idea. Unless you come and settle, you have no idea what it's like. The good, the bad, the ups and downs, the challenges, the blessings of living in God's Holy Land. When the sun sets in about an hour, we are going to enter the most painful and traumatic time in the Jewish calendar. We are going to enter Memorial Day for all the fallen soldiers, all the people in uniform, police, border police, all the ones who gave their life and who has been killed defending the Jewish homeland. I know you also have that kind of day in other countries around the world, but here we are also going to remember and honor all the Jews, all the people who have been murdered in the most heinous, brutal, horrific terror attack. The next 24 hours are going to be the day where it hurts to breathe, where you're wearing your heart outside your body, literally. I chose this black t-shirt because we are going to be mourning, but my heart is with the Jewish people and with Israel. It's going to be Memorial Day. We just had the first official state ceremony, and I just had the entourage of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu passing by my house. I'm very happy to see how well he is protected. He just left participating in an official ceremony close to my house, actually. So there's going to be an official ceremony tonight at the Western Wall where we are going to honor all the soldiers who died defending the Jewish homeland. There's going to be a siren going off at 8 o'clock. All of Israel is going to come to a standstill, and that's going to happen again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. There's going to be ceremonies throughout the whole country, and all the bereaved families are going to be in the cemeteries, being at the gravesites of their beloveds who was either heinous murdered in a terror attack for no other reason than being Jewish, or all the fallen personnel, soldiers, police officer who has been brutally murdered or killed defending the Jewish homeland. There is not one family here in Israel who's not affected. There's not one who hasn't lost someone. Some families has lost more than one. Naturally, then came October 7 and whole families were wiped out. Whole families were burned alive. Whole families were shot, murdered on the brutal onslaught by Hamas on October 7. So it's going to be a very, very painful time here in Israel, and only in Israel. Only in Israel. This nation is going to come together united as one family as they mourn and they grieve what the Jewish people have gone through down through history, being persecuted, hunted and killed for no other reason than just being Jewish, up until today, late April 2025, where Jews are still being murdered in the most horrific terror attack. Whether it's Jewish fathers who is out in public park with their toddlers several years ago on Israel's Independence Day, and they were brutally massacred, chopped down by Palestinian terrorists in front of their children. Or you are out shopping in a supermarket, being brutally murdered in front of your family, or you're standing waiting at the bus like a father did with his two young boys who were 6 and 8 years old a couple of years ago, and they were crushed to death in a car ramming attack here in Jerusalem. Or the people who were brutally murdered, executed, shot point blank on a Friday when they were on their way to a synagogue in Neve Yaakov, not far from where I'm standing now here in Jerusalem. The list goes on and on and on, and every year that list of soldiers who fallen in battle for Israel, or Jews, Israelis who has been brutally murdered in terror attacks, that list just goes up and up and up and up. And naturally after October 7, it just, how to even put it into words. So it's a very, very painful and challenging 24 hours. And then it's so hard to describe, because when the sun set tomorrow night, when we are amidst in the grief and the sorrow, you have to flip 180, and all of a sudden you're going to go into festivities and be joyful, because when the sun set tomorrow night, a new day begin in the Holy Land, and then it's Independence Day, and then we celebrate the magnificent, the beautiful, the majestic homeland of the Jewish people, the nation that God created as His own, given to the Jewish people in an eternal covenant. So you're literally flipping like this, going from massive, massive sorrow and grief into celebrating the miracle of the nation of Israel, going back to Moses and Mount Zion. This is the Jewish homeland for thousands of years, and they are home now, never to be uprooted again. So for all of these years where I have lived in Israel, I used to go to the cemetery. I used to make live videos. I used to make videos and speak about all of this and be on the cemeteries. But then another year where I had to report about I don't know how many dead Jews, and another year, and I'm not a robot, and it has just affected me tremendously and broken my heart over and over and over again, until you come to a point where you just don't have any more words, because you can't explain what it's like. And that's why I'm saying, unless you live here, you have no idea. No matter how many times you travel in and out and how many conferences you come here and attend, and unless you live here and you're standing with your feet planted with the Israelis in good times and bad times, when you have rockets flying in, when you have missiles attack, The trauma we are living, you have no idea if you don't live here. So it's very, very extraordinary and special for the next 48 hours here in Israel. And let's not forget, this is the week that began with the Holocaust Remembrance Day, where we remembered and we said, never again, never again. And then came October 7. So for such a time as this, pray for Israel. This is what's going to happen for the next 48 hours. First, a lot of mourning, a lot of tears, a lot of crying. But then we are going to go in and celebrate the miracle of Israel, God's nation. Look what this nation has accomplished since the rebirth in 1948. Prophecies were fulfilled. The Jewish people came home. And they celebrate life like no one else I have ever seen. They never cease to amaze me. They never cease to amaze me. And I want to end by saying this. No matter who the president is, no matter who the prime minister is, we stand with Israel because, like I have said for years and years, standing with Israel is not a political issue. It's a biblical issue. God has commanded us to comfort my people. I will bless those that stand with Israel, and I will curse those that stand with Israel. And the Christians, you wouldn't even have a faith if it wasn't for this nation. This is where the kings and prophets walked. So when you open the Bible, this is where this nation comes alive. So God has called us to stand united with the Jewish people in good times and bad times. And no matter who is the leader of this country, it doesn't change the fact that this is the land God chose. This is the land of the Bible. And for that reason, we are standing with Israel 24/7, 365, around the clock. And we pray for the leaders, we pray for the government, we pray for the president and the prime minister. This is a spiritual battle. This is good against evil. This is God against Satan. This is light against darkness. That is what you have to remember when it comes to Israel. You cannot separate God and Israel. It's like this. I have said this so many times. You cannot separate. That's where so many people and governments are going wrong around the world. They think Israel is like any other country. It's not. They are separated out as God's nations. So you can't separate God and Israel. And if you claim to love God, you cannot hate his people. They are intertwined 100%. So prophecies are coming through. The Jewish people are home to stay in their God-given homeland. But we still have hostages inside Gaza. We have hostages inside Gaza who hasn't been treated by the Red Cross. The Red Cross, yes. Oh, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. The Red Cross are in Gaza, but they have not they have not seen our hostages. It's outrageous. And we're still finding tunnels, still finding Hamas weapon in UNRWA bags, using UNRWA facilities, which they have done for years and years and years. So we are thinking about our hostages. We want our hostages home. Hamas needs to be completely eliminated, completely gone out of the Gaza Strip. That's one of the goals for Israel. You cannot have a genocidal modern-day Nazis on your doorsteps who have declared we want to carry out another October 7 attack. So for the next 48 hours, it's going to be tears and sorrow and grief and trauma. And then you flip, and then we are going into the miracle of God's Holy Land, the land of Israel that God created as his in an eternal covenant with the Jewish people. Me and my house will serve God, and me and my house, Jerusalem Jane, will always stand united with this country that God singled out and said, I will bless those that bless Israel and I will curse those that curse Israel. Don't be on the cursing side. I really encourage you, for such a time as this, we stand with Israel. Bye.